action if you are able to enter the link. Ayan. Okay. Some of our participants naka-enter na sa ating link. Okay. Thank you, participants. Now, I will present to you the result of our activity. So, majority of the participants answered accountability. And the first question is, what is the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word monitoring and evaluation, or M&E? There's a wide range of answer that includes accountability, quality, assess, okay, project, performance, implementation, participation, monitoring of projects. Okay, thank you, participants. Assessment. Ayan. Oh, and also opportunity. Yeah. Accountability. Wow, this majority of the participants answered accountability. And then next question. Ito naman, where are you currently located at? Saan bang mga province natin? Some of us live in Batangas, Aklan, wow, La Union. Naimbag Amalem sa mga taga La Union. Baguio, Las Piñas City, Cagayan, NCR, sa mga taga NCR, magandang hapon. Also in Cebu, Baguio, Negros Occidental. And majority of the participants answered in Pampanga. Sa Pampanga, mayap agat panapon. Ayan. Okay, there's some of us live in Leyte. And also in our chat box, there's some live in Nueva Ecija. Okay. Thank you, participants, for your active participation. Let's move on. I would like to introduce our team leader. Beginning her career as a certified public accountant with a degree in Bachelor of Science and Accountancy from Miriam College, she started her government service DBM under the Office of the Chief Information Officer in 2017. She handled various digitization and M&E initiatives such as Open Roads, One ID System, Open Data, and Enhanced Government Management Information System. In 2018, Digital Information for Monitoring and Evaluation was launched, in which she was tasked to lead the Project Management Office full-time up until this day, in addition to providing technical assistance to the ICT Group and the Office of ASEC Magsino. Currently, she's also taking her Master's of Business Administration at De La Salle University. And to officially welcome us all and present to us the objectives of this session, let's all welcome the team leader of the Project DIME, Ms. Joanna Marie Rule.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I hope we all had our lunch. Yes, can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so I would like to start this afternoon session by somehow giving a simple opening remarks by stating that the objective of economic and social development in the Philippines is to set in motion a process of sustainable growth in which we believe that participatory mechanism can be achieved. Development within a developing society aims, we believe, that building into a society the mechanisms that will ultimately permit self-reliance and growth for economic development. For us, the focal point of participatory monitoring should be the qualitative enhancement of participation, especially in local societies, which can be defined as groups of rural communities and as administrative and developmental communities. We think that to be able to really enhance sustainability and self-reliance, we need to have improvements in the quality of people's participation, especially in the activities of the government. So for today's session, we would want to enhance the understanding between the people and the government with initiatives for increased communications, decision making, and service delivery. Next is we would want also to emphasize the importance of community participation as one of the dominant approaches in the development sector as an effective way, to incorporate local knowledge into planning, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation of government projects. And lastly, we would want to share with the participants some of the initiatives that we have started in the Department of Budget and Management that enable greater participation in all sectors in delivering citizen services and strengthening the ties with the public. So today's session might be a little too technical for some, but we will try our best to really to laymanize everything for everyone because dime is a bit technical. So, but we will really try our best para we would get our message well. So that's all for me, Carl. Thank you.
Thank you for those short but very informative remarks, Ms. Rule. Now, let's proceed to our first presenter. To provide us a brief introduction of what Project Dime is all about, our presenter graduated from the University of the Philippines in Diliman. He is a licensed geodetic engineer. He previously worked as a researcher for several projects under UP Training Center for Applied Geodesy and Photogrammetry, including the hazard mapping of the Philippines using LiDAR that focuses on mitigating the effects of disaster using remote sensing technologies. He currently is part of Project Dime as Information Technology Officer that leads in the research and development of various remote sensing technologies that can be used to aid the project in its monitoring efforts. Let's welcome Engineer John Dil Macapagal.
Okay, thank you very much, Carl. Magandang hapon sa lahat. For this presentation, I will be sharing with you this afternoon what Project Dime is about and how we are utilizing digital information to augment the existing M&D effort in the government. Okay. For section 1, we'll be talking about what DIME is, what are the programs selected for monitoring and evaluation, and how the programs were selected in the first place. Then for section 2, we'll be choosing 3 projects from the list of pilot programs and talk about how those programs are being monitored using remote sensing technologies. Then finally, just a brief introduction of our transparency website, which will later on be discussed in detail by Mr. Joshua Reyes. So let's start the first section about DIME. Starting from the acronym, you already saw kanina yung sa title natin. So DIME stands for Digital Information for Monitoring and Evaluation. It's launched in 2018. DIME is one of the many of DBM's key reform program that aims to utilize imaging technologies primarily for M&E activities. First is through the adoption of the RBMER, or the Results-Based Monitoring, Evaluation, and Reporting Policy Framework. This framework aims to strengthen the use of evidence-based results for decision-making and improve government performance in the delivery of goods and services for greater transparency and accountability. This is based on the National Budget Circular number 565 series of 2016. So Project Dime is a collaboration between DBM and the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, with DBM and DOST recognizing that in light of the rapid advancement of science and technology and the availability of a multitude of satellite imageries, there is an opportunity to collaborate and utilize these available data sets to supplement the existing M&E efforts in the government. So aside from DOST, DIME has had partnerships with different stakeholders in the academe and the government and non-government sectors. We give utmost importance to collaboration and partnership because it makes us more efficient in our M&E efforts. So moving on with our data sets, we call these DDITs or Digital Data Imaging Technologies. And examples of DDITs are satellite and drone images and geotag photos. This supplements the RBMER framework via evidence-based monitoring of project implementation. Then lastly, the role of DIME as an initiative for exploring open government data was further strengthened by including the concept of participatory governance in one of its mechanisms. Basically, we want to tap into the vast amount of resources readily available to citizens today, which is through our smartphones. Next up, the criteria for selection of projects. So with the frameworks and technologies and partnerships already covered, the next step in fully launching the initiative was to select the programs and projects that will be included in the pilot implementation. With this, DBM, through its budget and management bureaus, selected an initial list of 12 priority programs to be included in the project's pilot run. These 12 programs were selected based on the criteria crafted by DBM that includes program prioritization. So this is identified as a projects prioritized by the current administration. Then we have the magnitude of fund allotted for the project, the weak performance of the concerned agency in the implementation of previous projects, the reach and impact of the project, whether it be on the local or national scale, and programs or agency concerned as previous adverse audit findings. So here are the 12 pilot programs that are included in DIME. So our programs are divided into 3 categories: the hard, quasi-hard, and soft programs. I'm sure most of us, if not all, are familiar in some of these programs. So included in the hard projects are road and railroad projects, planting activities, and irrigation systems. So we have the DPWH access roads leading to airports and seaports, and the Department of Agriculture's Farm to Market Road. We also have the North-South Commuter Railway project of the Department of Transportation, which is a 37-kilometer railway that spans from Tutuban in Manila to Malolos in Bulacan. We have the irrigation projects of the National Irrigation Authority, as well as the National Greening Program of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, which started in 2011. Yung quasi-hard projects naman, these programs tend to have outputs that are vertical in nature, meaning the progress is upwards with a low horizontal footprint. And we want to monitor these projects by conducting field monitoring and acquiring images with the use of drones and handheld GPS. So kasama dito sa programs na ito ay yung mga school and hospital buildings of DepEd and DOH, then yung community fish landing centers ng Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and also yung salin tubig ng DILG, and the free internet access under the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Then lastly, yung soft programs naman, so kabilang dito yung 4Ps ng DSWD at yung Universal Access to Tertiary Education ng Commission on Higher Education. Okay, so earlier I mentioned yung use ng various DDITs or Digital Data Imaging Technologies for evidence-based monitoring. Ito yung mga example ng DDITs natin. So we have the satellite imageries. They are essentially the eyes in the sky. Currently, we are using Digital Globe or yung Google Earth imagery, and then yung Planet Dove satellite imageries. This is the main DDIT that we currently use in monitoring infrastructure projects. Then for the LiDAR data naman, the sample pictures at the lower left is an optical remote sensing technique that uses laser light to to densely sample the surface of the Earth, producing highly accurate X, Y, and Z measurements. So yung mga may iPhone 12 sa atin, may LiDAR scanner na na-built-in yan, di ba? So basically, may mga point clouds kaya nakaka-create tayo ng 3D images. Then another one is the use of drones. It is an unmanned aerial vehicle that can be remotely controlled or fly autonomously through software-controlled flight plans. So later this month, DIME will be having its first drone. We plan to use this to monitor the vertical progress of buildings like the school and hospital buildings. Then we have the geotag photos, which are photographs that are associated with a geographic location. Usually this is done by assigning at least a latitude and a longitude to the image. We can also use this data for monitoring vertical progress in infrastructure projects. So kung mapapansin natin yung mga pictures natin sa smartphone natin, minsan kapag naka-on yung location details, makikita natin kung saan kinuha yung pictures, di ba? So basically, considered na yun na geotag photos since yung picture, meron na siyang location. So in the next slide, I have a video from Drone Genuity illustrating how drone works and what kind of data is useful for DIME.
Drones are versatile tools that can be used for a wide variety of applications. One of the newer use cases for drones is to help create 3D models, thanks to special software programs that can turn aerial images into digital spatial models. And drones are essentially airborne scanners that can be used to turn large objects, such as buildings, construction sites, or simply large land areas, into 3D models, thanks to a process called photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is the science of making measurements from photographs, particularly areas into 3D models, thanks to a process called photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is the science of making measurements from photographs, particularly aerial photographs. The way photogrammetry works is it looks at photos of a subject taken from 2 or more locations. It uses the different perspectives of the images, along with the location data of where the images were taken, to triangulate the locations of points on the subject. The more photos you have of your subject taken from different locations, the more accurate this triangulation process will be. The result is accurate point locations plotted in 3D space, which is exactly what you need to create a 3D model. Drone photos are great for this process because every photo is geotagged. This means the latitude, longitude, and altitude from the drone's GPS and onboard sensors are embedded in the metadata of the image.
All right, as I said earlier, we plan to use drone to monitor the vertical progress of buildings that we monitor. But we can also use this to monitor other infrastructure projects like road and railway projects. So next up, let's discuss the 3 projects from the list of 12 pilot programs of DIME, kung paano namin minomonitor and ina-evaluate yung ibang programs. So let's start with the National Greening Program. The DNR implemented the National Greening Program to provide opportunities for communities to produce sustainable livelihood and encourage local government units in the development of forest plantations. NGP is a massive forest rehabilitation program of the government. It seeks to grow 1.5 billion trees in 1.5 million hectares nationwide within a period of 6 years from 2011 to 2016. And now we have the expanded National Greening Program, which will cover all the remaining unproductive, denuded, and degraded forest lands with its period of implementation extended to 2028. Under the ENGP, the government targets greening some additional 1.2 million hectares of land. So the proof of concept for monitoring the NGP was handled by a team of researchers from the University of the Philippines, one of our partners. So given the time constraints, we cannot discuss this in depth, but still, we want to show you this so that we can have a general idea of the different digital information that we use. So first is to identify what data sets can and will be used to monitor the program. which include the type of satellite images to be used. Then the next step is to formulate a way to monitor the program using the selected data set. Here, the NDVI, or the Normalized Difference Vegetation Index, is used to create whether an area has increasing or decreasing vegetation. So to appreciate muna yung satellite images natin, especially that we can see the formula for NDVI, I just want to show you a video from NASA using Landsat, showing the data and interpretation that we get from the satellite images.
When we investigate land cover using the instruments aboard Landsat satellites, we collect sets of data for different wavelengths. Some are in the infrared, and others correspond to blue, green, and red visible light. We can combine any three of the images to create different depictions of Earth's surface. Here you can look at the three different depictions of the multispectral data we use to create these images. You can see how the surface cover appears different, with some features enhanced in the different depictions.
So going back, we have the different bands that enable us to distinguish certain characteristics of objects. For the NDVI, values can range from +1 to -1. As an indicator, the values of NDVI relate to the relative amount of vegetation present in a particular area. We can see that the different range of NDVI values correspond to different vegetation properties. We can tell whether the area is still barren, if it has shrubs, or if it has dense vegetation. So basically, yung pagmamonitor and evaluate ng NGP, gusto nating makita through satellite images kung nataniman na ba at kung tumubo na ba yung mga tinanim sa ating NGP sites. For example, this is an NDVI time series obtained for a 50-hectare NGP site in Bangged, Abra. The species planted is ipil-ipil. Based on the indicators, the mean value NDVI, the direction of the trend, and the magnitude of the slope, we can deduce that for this site, the algorithm determined that it has positive vegetation change. So meaning na nataniman naman ng ipil-ipil yung area at actually tumubo na sila. So next, the proof of concept naman for monitoring the road projects was handled by Time PMO in collaboration with the Datos team of DOST-ASTI, again, one of our partners. The program is part of the convergence programs of DPWH to the transport sector. The access roads to seaports and airports includes building, modernizing, and rehabilitating various airports and seaports access across the country. So aim nito na mag-construct ng access roads leading to airports and seaports and improve the movement of people between urban centers and maritime and air facilities, as well as ensure that the efficient transport of goods and materials. There are a total of 97 projects for access road leading to seaports and 39 projects under the access roads leading to airports that DIME is monitoring. Isa pang program ay yung Farm to Market Roads. These are roads that link the agriculture and fisheries production sites, coastal landing points, and post-harvest facilities to the arterial roads and highways. According to the Department of Agriculture's FMR network plan, FMRs are the foundation of modern agriculture and serve as the catalyst in improving rural economy, which provides market access to farmers para ma-motivate sila to plant more, thereby increasing their production and income. There are a total of 1,280 road projects under the FMR program for monitoring under DIME. So makikita natin sa map na they are located across the country. So we use PlanetScope imageries as the main data set used to monitor the progress of road projects. We monitor these projects using change detection evaluation, and is done qualitatively and quantitatively. One of the most basic forms of change detection done qualitatively is via visual inspection. The same scenes of satellite images taken at different times are visually inspected for changes. For illustration purposes, the image shown here is a collection of PlanetScope satellite images of the Sorsogon Coastal Road project in Bicol, which was just opened late last year. The date of acquisition shown here ranges from July 2016 up to April 2020. So by visual inspection, we can already observe how the project progressed through its construction. Then here on the right side naman is quantitative change detection. Quantitative evaluation primarily deals with the numbers aspect of image analysis. Algorithms are developed and utilized to automatically detect changes between images. One of these is pixel-based image differencing. So with this process naman, we can compute for the percent change or the physical progress between two satellite images. Okay, so this one naman ay located sa Bacolod, Negros Occidental. Dati nasa Bacolod pa yung mismong airport, but this road is one of the access roads leading to the new Bacolod Silay Airport. So the construction duration is from June 4 to September 22, 2018. The physical target is a road that stretches 0.92 kilometer. So the image on the top left is a PlanetScope satellite image taken just right after the start of the project schedule. We can observe na wala pang access road dun sa image na yon. Then taking another image of the same location in April 21, 2019, yung nasa lower left naman, it shows that the planned access road was already constructed. The image on the right side naman, yung may red pixels, the red pixel shows the change detected between the two images using pixel-based image differencing. So basically, yung dalawang images sa left side ay yung before and after images natin. Tapos we want to quantify yung progress sa road construction. Bali may tool tayong ginamit to automatically produce yung red pixels na nasa image right. So yung mga red pixels na yun, bale, they represent the area na may new road construction. So the accomplishment from DPWH is reported at 100%. And the percent change from our pixel-based image differencing is 92.72%. So there's a difference of negative 7.28%. So meaning that percent change from pixel differencing has underestimated the accomplishment percentage by about 7%. But this will really be the case since the percent change is just a proxy indicator of the amount of work done. Okay, so for the last part, the Dime Transparency website. The Dime Transparency website is targeted to be a central repository or a one-stop shop of everything related to Project Dime, which includes the outputs of the monitoring efforts of each program. This will also serve as a participatory platform that will enable citizens to be involved in the monitoring of selected infrastructure programs at their localities using their smartphones, for example. So our transparency website will be discussed in detail later by Mr. Joshua Reyes. So if you want to know more about DIME, or if you want a more in-depth explanation of our process, you can contact us here in the following details. So in the meantime, I will now turn you over to Carl for the next activity. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Sir JD. Okay. So now let's proceed to the next part of the session. Our next speaker is a graduate of Computer Engineering in St. Mary's University. He previously worked as a cloud security engineer at Trend Micro Philippines before becoming part of the technical team of Project Dime. To provide us a sneak peek of the Dime Transparency website, here is the lead on the website's development efforts, Engineer Joshua Reyes.
Good afternoon to everyone. Let me just share my screen ko. So hello, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Joshua Reyes, and I will be presenting to you the Dime Transparency website and how it can extend results-based monitoring and evaluation through what we call participatory monitoring. So first, let us watch this video. So this was the transparency website that was presented during the Open Government Partnership Summit, or the OGP Summit last 2019 in Ottawa, Canada. And it's been more than a year since it has been presented to the public. And a lot of things happened within that period. So yun nga, nagkaroon ng pandemic and we've been through lockdown and quarantine. Yun, maraming classification ng quarantine ang napagdaanan ng bawat isa sa atin, like enhanced community quarantine, modified enhanced community quarantine, general community quarantine, modified general community quarantine. But that quarantine classification is not the only thing that evolved during this pandemic. So the transparency website also gone through a lot of revisions, modifications, a lot of developments, and I think it's about time for you to present to you the new, the enhanced, the modified, and the improved Dime Transparency website. So the Dime Transparency website is a mechanism for us to extend the results-based M&E through what we call participatory monitoring. So the website can be accessed at www.dime.gov.ph. So after the presentation, you can join me as we explore and navigate the website. But first, we've been mentioning this term a lot, itong participatory monitoring. Pero alam nga ba talaga natin what participatory monitoring is? So let's define first participatory monitoring. So participatory monitoring is a process through which stakeholders engage in first monitoring or evaluating a particular project that pwede din yan maging policy. And second is sharing control over the M&E activity that includes the content, the process, and also the results of the M&E efforts. And lastly, we can engage by taking or identifying corrective actions. So participatory monitoring and evaluation focuses on the active engagement of our primary stakeholders. So ano nga ba, or sino nga ba yung mga stakeholders na yon? So the stakeholder groups typically involved in a participatory M&E activity includes the end users of project goods and services, including both men and women at the community level, intermediary organizations, including NGOs, private sector businesses that are also involved in the project, and also the government staffs at all levels. So the stakeholders that we are referring to is kayo, you. In our case, the local communities na pinapatayuan ng school, ginagawan ng mga daanan, pinapatayuan ng mga hospitals. In short, the public citizens that are within the area of the project. So, yun yung participatory monitoring. Since na-define na natin what participatory monitoring is, let's look into what the Dime Transparency website have. Ano nga bang meron to si Dime Transparency website in order for us to enable the participatory monitoring side. So here's the website core functionality. Meron tayo ditong navigation tab bars and all the other features that are in the website. First is the homepage. So basahin ko yung mga nandito pero we'll look into it in more detail mamaya. Yon. The homepage gives an overall functionality of the Dime website. About page is giving a description, mission, and vision statement of Dime. Third is projects. The user can search and view all the projects that are uploaded on the website. Then dashboard, it is a visual overview of each Dime program. Fifth is press releases. User can read different articles about Dime. Then the sixth is FAQs or the help page, which consists of frequently asked questions about Dime. Yon. And seventh is the contact page where users can fill out a contact form na ma-receive ng Project Dime team. And also the comment section. So gusto kong tanungin yung bawat isa. I want to ask everyone what feature or functionality will participatory monitoring come in. So sige nga, mag-chat nga tayo sa chat box. Think of what feature ng Dime Transparency website papasok yung participatory monitoring. Just feel free to interact and yon. Tingnan natin yung chat. Yon, from ito, DBM comment section daw. Yon, comment section. Ayun, so we'll see, we'll look into that later on kung tama ba na comment section papasok yung participatory monitoring. So moving on, going to the details, let's take a look on the homepage of the website. So the homepage consists of 4 sections. First is the image slider, featured projects, about Dime, and the dashboard. So image slider, it showcases some of the core services that the Dime offers. It has also a call to action button that leads to the project. So the image slider displays an aerial documentation of the project. Basically, it is a glimpse of what the Dime team can offer. Next is the featured project. So this features 2 projects that we have monitored. So when we click on these links, it leads us to its respective project pages. So we can feature projects that are very well implemented. This may include projects that was finished earlier than the expected, or maybe projects that performs very well in terms of construction. So this feature was added so we could look into the best practices of the agencies when implementing these specific projects. So next is about Dime. It's just an overview of what Dime is all about. Then next is a dashboard. This section shows statistics of the projects, namely infrastructure projects that are being monitored, projects with valid coordinates, and how many sets of satellite images have we already acquired. So when we click on View Full Dashboard, it leads us to the whole dashboard website page. So the dashboard that is in the home page is just an overview of the analytics that we can provide. Next portion is About page. It's a simple web page where users can read a description about what Project Dime is. It also has the vision and mission statements of the project and also some infographics. So ito na yung pinakita ni Sir JD kanina na 12 pilot programs. Next is project page. We have the search bar, programs, project list, and project details. So punta tayo sa search bar. So the search bar is like any other search bar na nakikita nyo like sa Facebook or sa Google. So that's just similar with the search bar ng ating Dime website. So users can view project details by using the search bar to type their location. So yung dito sa search bar, ang tinatype natin is the location, your location. Then it displays the projects that are found within that area. You can type in your city or your province and it will show you the projects implemented or present in your community. So titingnan natin kung merong mga projects na malapit sa inyo. Di ba, nag-conduct tayo ng Mentimeter kanina to know where you are watching from or where you are joining are. So we'll see that later on. Next is the programs. So scrolling down the same web page are the agency programs that are being monitored under Dime. These are the 12 programs that were discussed during presentation, the first presentation. And this is what differs us with other monitoring and evaluation platforms. So the data that we can disclose and are open for public feedback are all high-valued government projects. So that means projects under programs that are implemented at the national level and with allocation of more than 1 billion pesos. Next is the projects list. So ito na yung result ng query that we entered on the search bar. All projects within that area will be listed down, and when we click on a particular project, it will lead us to the project details. So ano nga ba yung makikita natin sa project details? So the project details is where you can see how a particular project is performing. Details such as budget, location, and many more. Yun. So let's look into the sections of the project details. First is this image slider. So it displays a before and after image of the project. Users can scroll the arrow from left to right to see the full photo of the before and after images. By using this kind of visualization, we can see the differences on the project area within a span of time. Next is project information. Users can read more details about the project and like budget, starting date, implementing agency, estimated end date, actual start date, actual end date, component cost, and many more. So yon, project information. And last section is the comment section. So dito na nga papasok yung sinasabi nating participatory monitoring. So if you chat, kung nag-chat ka kanina ng comment section, yon, tama ka. So the comment section allows the public to engage with the information presented on the Project Dime website. So we have used Discuss Comment platform for this functionality. Yung Discuss platform, ginagamit ng mga ibang like news agencies na parang comment feature din nila. Yung Discuss is a comment hosting service for websites and online communities that use network platforms. So this allows users to use either Google, Facebook, or Twitter accounts to comment in a specific project. So users can then interact at each project page by posting new comments or replying to other ones, and also uploading an image of the actual project. So we made monitoring easier for the public, easier for the citizens, easier for you. You can just visit the website at www.time.gov.ph/projects. You can navigate through it, type in your location, and you can start finding the project nearest you, and you can now start monitoring. So we made it simple for everyone. So we will be doing a demo later. Yon. So moving on to the next page muna is the dashboard page. It's an interactive infographic where users can get statistics on the details of the overall projects per program. The statistics are displayed as text, pie charts, or bar graph. Yon. Ano nga bang makikita nating analytics dito sa dashboard page? Here we can see program name, the day that the project started, number of projects, the progress, the funding agency, program cost, the dime rating, status of projects. Tong status of project is a pie chart that displays the validation of coordinates of all the projects per program. Next is geotag location of the projects. Ngayon, kung nakikita nyo yung Philippine map, that displays the location of all the projects all over the country na enrolled under DIME. Next is type of work, contractor details. Yon. So the program dashboard gets all the information and data mentioned above from the projects that are tagged to the program in the database. It all gathers the information related to the program and displaying the consolidated information in the program dashboard. Moving on to the next press releases page. Users can read up on the different press releases or articles that was published by DBM about the Project Dime. So in each article, a user can also comment through Discuss to express their thoughts. So you can check out the press release page to keep you updated with what's happening within the Project Dime. Next is the help page. That contains the FAQs or the frequently asked questions about Project Dime. And also it has a button that says Ask Us Here that will lead the user to contact page where there is a contact form to fill in if you have questions. So ito na nga yung contact page. Users can view the address, email, and phone number of the Department of Budget and Management if you want to contact us. And since we are doing everything with the public in mind, it will be easier for you to contact us using the built-in contact form na makikita sa website. So, paano nyo ba kami makikontact? So, here are the steps. So, step 1, fill out the full name on the name field. Step 2, fill out your email address in the email address field. The email address na ilalagay nyo dito will be the email address na gagamitin namin for us to reach you back or to contact you back. Step 3 is fill out the subject of your message in the subject field. Step 4 is type in your message in the message field. And step 5, after pressing the send message button, the message will be emailed to projectdime@dbm.gov.ph. We will be receiving your queries immediately and we will look into it, and depending on the subject matter, we will be responding within a prescribed duration. So just a summary of the functionalities of the website, we have the homepage, about page, projects page, dashboard, press releases, help, contact, and comment section. Then going back to my question kanina, if saan papasok yung participatory monitoring, so papasok yan sa comment section. Just keep in mind that you're not just an ordinary citizen. So yung mga nanonood sa Facebook, just keep in mind that you are not just an ordinary citizen. You can actively participate in monitoring and evaluating government infrastructure projects. So yun, that's the Dime Transparency website, the new, improved, enhanced, and modified Dime Transparency website. That's the end of the presentation. But of course, let me also take this opportunity to show you how to navigate the website. Ayan. Let me share my browser. So yun, sa mga kasama po natin na nanonood or kasama natin here in Zoom, you can visit the website at www.dime.gov.ph. Ayun, sabayan niyo ako as we go into this website. So ito na yung sinasabi kanina na slider where you can see kung ano yung may offer ng Dime, and a sample satellite image that we have for Farm to Market Road. Tignan natin. It is a farm to market road, a satellite image of farm to market road project in Telabangka, Concepcion, Tarlac, captured last November 2, 2018. So you can help us in monitoring. Yon. The second is featured projects. So tignan natin yung mga ginamit ni Sir JD kanina sa first presentation na data. So let's take a look into Bricadale Road Network to International Airport. So we are going to the project specific page na. So nandito na lahat ng details about this project. So it has a budget of 77 million. The start date was April 9, and you can also see the estimated completion date. And ito na yung sinasabi na image slider. So makikita natin dito yung before and after image ng project. And also, project component ID, type of work, physical target, contractor name, etc., etc. And dito na nga yung pwede tayong mag-comment using our Google account, Twitter account, or the Facebook account. Let's check the other one. Ayan, so this satellite image was captured last June 21, 2018. And the other was captured last April 21, 2019. So makikita na natin yung difference. So from 2018 na walang road, makikita natin na by 2019 nagkaroon ng road. So that's the power of that technology that we have right now. And also yun, pwede na tayong mag-comment kung nasan man kayo. You can also search the projects page dito. You can type in your location or yun. Gamitin natin yung answer kanina sa Menti, which is Pampanga. So yung mga nasa Pampanga, you can already check these projects. Yun. Elementary school. Yun. So these are all the projects na mahahanap natin na located sa Pampanga. Yun. This is also the dashboard page. Yun. So after this session, siguro since we don't have much time, you can explore the website kasi it's live na at www.dime.gov.ph. Ayun, so basically that's the sneak peek of the Dime Transparency website. So originally, dapat ito was launched this year because yun nga yung timeline ng ating open government partnership. But since nagkaroon ng pandemic and we are all doing this online, siguro parang sneak peek na lang muna. But maybe after the pandemic, kung pwede ng large gathering, we invite everyone to join us sa launching nitong Dime Transparency website. So thank you very much. I hope we get you as our partners in monitoring our government infrastructure projects. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Reyes, for providing us a preview of the functions and information within the Dime Transparency website. Truly, technology is a great enabler that can really change and improve the way we do things. As we learn from the presentation, we can participate in the monitoring of high-value government projects by providing feedback on projects within our immediate locality with the use of our social media accounts in our mobile devices. Moving on, I am sure we have learned a lot of new concepts from the two presentations. We would like to gauge a little bit of what you have learned with our presentations and to encourage participation with our participants. Now, we will be having an online quiz game. Ready ba kayo sa ating online quiz game? Ayan. The top 3 players with the highest score will be given a prize that includes Dime collateral. Ayan. So to do this, please go to www.kahoot.it. www.kahoot.it. So open your browsers now and type the game pin. Yung game pin po natin ay nasa chat box. So you can see the game pin was 2190409. Final note, we can only accommodate 20 participants for this activity. So this will be a first come first serve basis. Kaya paunahan po tayo. Now, we will give you a 1 minute para maka-join po kayo sa ating game, sa online game. And ito yung exciting para sa atin. Now, here are the prizes. Ayan. One of the prize was the Project Dime mug, also with a ball pen. May keychain din po tayo and also the string bag. Meron din po tayong notebook and hindi lang po si Kuya Will ang namimigay ng jacket. So bigyan din natin ng jacket yan, yung mga panalo. So be ready. First come first serve basis lang po tayo ha. Then 20 participants lang yung pwedeng makasali sa ating online game. So, are you ready? So, let's play the game.
I think there's still 7 slots left.
Yes, 7 slots left.
Or full 920 slots.
Okay. While waiting, ayan. So, while waiting sa ating, para ma-accommodate yung 20 participants, note, reminder ko po ulit na if you want to participate in the discussion, submit questions to the presenter by typing your questions in the chat box. You may send in your questions at any time during the session. We will collect these and address them during the open forum section at the end of today's session. Ayan. So, mukhang napupunan na ang ating slot. So, we have I think 22 participants. So more than 20. So we can already start na. So let's play the game. Okay, here's the first question. OpenGov week runs through May 17 to blank. Okay. May mga tumama po sa ating sagot. It was May 17 to 21. Second question. Leia at the first place. What is the title of this session? It's about DIME extending results-based M&E through blank. Okay, 9 participants got the correct answer. Participatory monitoring. Clarissa May got the first place now. Third question, before DIME was digital imaging for monitoring and evaluation. What does I in DIME now stands for? Okay. I in DIME now stands for information. Okay, for the fourth question, DIME is a collaboration between DBM and blank. Go. Okay. 7 got the correct answer. It was DOST. Next question. Which of the following are not a criteria used in selecting projects to be included in the pilot implementation of DIME? Program prioritization, reach and impact, magnitude of funds, previous achievements of agency. Okay, 8 got the correct answer. Previous achievements of agency. Mukhang magagaling ang participants natin. Leia with 3,800 points. How many programs are included in the pilot implementation of DIME? 1, 12, 5, or 14? Okay, 12 pilot implementations of DIME, 12 programs. Seventh question. Programs are divided into 3 categories. Which of the following is not part of the categorization? Hard projects, soft projects, pseudo-hard projects, or government-funded projects? Okay, government-funded project is the correct answer. Last 3 questions.
Okay, last 3 questions na lang si Carl. So, update ka naman kung sino nang leading. Ayan na,
8th
naklik
question,
na. Sige na.
which infrastructure projects are not being monitored by DIME as part of initial implementation? Nine got the correct answer. Build projects. Ayan ang hindi kasama sa ating initial implementation. Now, Leia got the first place right now, 6,266 points. And second place, Mike M. Flores with the 5,677 points. And JK with 4,262 points. So next question, last 2. What is the address of the transparency website? dime.com, dime.gov.ph, projectdime.com, or projectdime.org? Okay, 15 got the correct answer. It was dime.gov.ph. So, ang leading natin ngayon ay si Miss Leia with 6,800. Then second, Mike M. Flores with 6,400. And JK with the 4,919 points. Okay, last questions. Number 10 question. You can sign in, comment in the projects using what account? Facebook, Google, Twitter, or all of the above? Okay, 10 got the correct answer. It was all of the above. Wow. So thank you for your participation. Let us acknowledge and congratulate the top 3 winners in our activity. So, ayan, ang ating top 1 ngayon ay si Miss Leia with 7,667 points, 10 out of 10. Wow, perfect si Miss Leia. Then second place, Mr. Mike M. Flores with 7,337, 9 out of 10. Wow, almost perfect. Then lastly, JK with the third place with 4,919 points, 7 out of 10. So our team will contact the winners in order to arrange how they will be able to claim their prizes. So, kukontakin namin kayo para ma-claim niyo yung prizes. So, thank you very much sa pag-participate ng ating online game. So, for now, at this moment, we are now going to begin answering the questions submitted during the presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit your questions through the chat box and comment section for Facebook Live. So, any questions? You can type it on the chat box here. So, as I scroll in this chat box a while ago, merong question here. From, okay, let me scroll. Okay, from math, PH-OGP. How often do you update the progress of the project? I think this was addressed to Dime team. Anyone from the Dime team or the presenter?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Okay, Sir Josh.
Ayun po. So, in terms of the updating of the Dime Transparency website, since the data that we used for the Dime Transparency website was data last 2018 since it's a pilot run. So, yung mga satellite image po was way back 2018 to 2020. Pero if we had the new data sets ng projects na ma-enroll sa Project Dime into monitoring, so yun po, we can do real-time updating ng satellite images na pwede nating i-show sa Dime Transparency website. So yun po yung frequency is depending on the data set nga na sinabi ko kanina. So if we use the planet satellite images that we have na in partnership with DOST, we can update the images on a weekly basis, and other data sets ranges from months to quarter basis depending on the satellite images na available in DIME. Yun po.
Okay, thank you, Sir Josh, for answering the question. Now, this another question from Ms. Rhoda Morales. Are the images in the Dime real-time?
Ayun po. So, yun nga po nasabi ko po kanina. The satellite images, depending on the subscription or the satellite image provider na meron po kami sa Dime, if we use the planet images, we can do updating of the satellite images in a weekly basis. Pero if the data sets na meron kami using other satellite image providers, it can be, or it can range from a month to 3 months or a year. Yun po. I hope I answered the question. And also, on the Dime Transparency website, nakalagay po kung ano yung date kung kailan na-capture yung satellite images yun to avoid confusion. So, sinama na po namin yung date ng capture ng satellite images.
Okay, thank you, Sir Josh, for answering the question. I think any questions from the participants? Here is another question from Roslyn. Can dime can be used in the preparation of our LUDIP, right? Or LUDIP?
Can I ask Miss Roslyn to please elaborate what is LUDIP? Miss Roslyn?
Miss Roslyn, what is LUDIP? LUDIP or LUDIP? Okay, while waiting for Miss Roslyn.
Ayan, I think she's ready. Miss Roslyn is ready. Yes, ma'am. Please enlighten us for the context of your question. Yes.
LUDIP is our land use development and infrastructure management plan. So it's actually mandated for all SUCs to prepare that for us to prioritize our infrastructure project. So I hope that this project can be used in our preparation of that particular project. It's a land use development plan.
Definitely, ma'am. If this is an infrastructure project, we will be able to use our technologies, especially that we have procured recently our own drone technology, no? So definitely, as long as it's an infrastructure project, because as of now, that's what we have developed pa lang, we could definitely be of assistance to your office po.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rule, for answering the question. Another question from Ms. Rhoda. If the public observed discrepancies in the projects, what would be done? With a follow-up question, can we use your images in preparing our reports? Anyone from the presenter?
Okay, so whenever we would notice any discrepancy between the agency reported accomplishments and our own monitoring, of course, we would want to raise this muna to the specific implementing agency in which the project is being handled. Of course, we don't want to come up with conclusions without actually taking the initiative to talk to the implementing agency. Of course, there are factors na we don't know pagdating sa pag-implement. So, the first step would probably be talking or creating conversations with the implementing agency first, stating that we have observed this and that, or the citizens have observed that this project is not at par with the accomplishment. So, and then we would solicit answers to have an answer straight from the implementing agency themselves. So, ayaw naman natin maggawa ng conclusions without asking them first. So, yun. I hope I was able to answer your question, no? But we are here to definitely be a bridge from the citizens to the implementing agencies, because each of them has their own monitoring and evaluation efforts din naman. So we are just here to close the gap between the citizens and the respective implementing agencies.
Thank you, Ms. Rule. I hope we answered your question, ma'am. And also with another question from Sir Sandino. May I ask if there is a privacy clause in the portal? If there are sensitive issues that people want to report, how could they be protected or not be put at risk? Thank you.
Hello, Sir Sandino. Thank you for that question po. Ayun, in terms of privacy clause, we haven't really touched about this yet. Pero kaya nga po namin ginamit yung discuss platform in order to para maiwasan yung mga tinatawag na spam or para maiwasan yung mga tinatawag na fake news. So, we want yung mga comments to be real. So, they need to use either their Google account, Facebook account, or Twitter account in order for us to know that those comments are yon totoo nga. And also, we are still planning to consult this with other stakeholders regarding this matter. So, yun po, I hope I answered your question po, Sir Sandino.
And also to add, of course, being transparent and accountable with the government efforts comes with risk. It's just up to the technical team to mitigate that risk as long as our objective of having a transparent and accountable initiative is still going to be there. But of course, we are very much aware of the risk that we are going to be facing once we opted to open this initiative to the public.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rule and Sir Joshua for answering question. I think we have one last question. This was the follow-up question from Ms. Roda. And the question is, can we use your images in preparing our reports?
Ayun. Hello po, Ma'am Roda. So, of course, since we have published the satellite image online, so you are also, meron po kayong opportunity to use these reports also. Pero I think during our meeting with the DOST, since sila yung provider ng satellite images, there's this some sort of like, parang we need to kailangan ipakita na yung satellite image na yon was from the subscription from this kind of provider, satellite image provider. And also, ano nga yun, Sir Kenneth? Yung tawag doon? Like we need to put some disclaimer,
Watermark
something
or
like that.
credit.
Siguro to answer that question, kasi Planet is a paid subscription satellite data and limited lang yung kayang i-accommodate ni DOST. Siguro there are other datasets na freely available naman na you can already use. For example, Landsat images, and we have yung Google Earth Pro na application where pwede mo siyang i-access and lahat ng images is freely available and relatively recent naman po yung mga images na uploaded doon. Siguro that would be a better option than using the Planet satellite image.
I think the question was, is it okay to use the available data sets and images that we have in DIME for the report? I think to answer that question, I think yes, you would be able to use our data sets. It's just that you have to somehow put a credit to or the source of your information. So technical team, correct me if I'm wrong. And also, I'm not sure if there's a downloadable feature in our website already. So, but if you would want a high resolution satellite images for your report, you can just send us an email and request what location or satellite images that you'll be needing.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rule and Sir Kenneth for answering the question. Okay, I think one last question is from Math. Would you plan to have the DIME portal PWD friendly or inclusive for differently able?
Hello po kay Sir Sandino. So we have talks recently with other CSOs like Code NGOs and any other CSO, and we are still looking into this one kung kaya ba ng bank transparency to be able to cater to those kind of parang differently abled people. Kasi images, of course, the people na yung mga hindi nakakita, they really can't, parang hindi nila magagamit yung ganitong
Okay, thank you, Sir Josh. I think we answered your questions. And I am very sorry if we can't accommodate all your questions because we are running out of time. So for more clarifications and questions, you can email us at projectdime@dbm.gov. So let's move on. Now, to summarize what we have learned today, may I call on Ms. Rule to provide the synthesis of the session, key insights, and action points.
Okay, so I will just be having a quick summary and also a bit of a closing remarks na din since it's already time. I'm first and foremost, I would like to thank the whole of DIME team and the PH-OGP for this opportunity to showcase DIME as an initiative in DBM. Okay, so just to have a quick synthesis, we started off with a presentation about DIME by Mr. John Dil Macapagal. We learned how existing technologies can be used in results-based monitoring and evaluation of government projects. After that is a presentation about the transparency website in which output of the DIME team, specifically satellite images, are then uploaded to facilitate the participatory mechanism of this initiative. So there are still a lot of improvements for this initiative, not only on the technical side but also on the operational side, and also in addition, itong participatory mechanism that we are adding to the framework or to the method. But I hope that through this platform, we'll be able to learn from each other and help to improve DIME as an initiative to be able to serve its purpose and to create a better understanding of using technologies, especially now in the modern times. So I would like to thank everyone who attended this session, the PH-OGP team, the DIME team, that's very hardworking. This is actually our first online session, no? So I hope you were able to deliver our message well. And also, if you have any more questions or clarifications, or if you want to have a partnership with the team, or you want to, if you need assistance with your ongoing projects, or also an initiative that is aligned with our objective, you can send us an email or questions. So, Carl, can you flash our contact details one last time? Ayan. So again, thank you po for everyone who participated. I hope you were able to enjoy our activity. Yung prizes, it will be sent to your basta, kakausapin kayo ng aking team on how you will be able to receive your prizes. Yes. So, can you flash it ulit, Carl?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, again, what else can I say? So, ayun, I'm just really thankful for everyone who participated. At least we were able to widen our reach through the help of PH-OGP. Mas marami nakaalam about this initiative. And really, the pandemic didn't stop PH-OGP from moving forward. So, okay. So I guess that's it for me. Thank you, everyone. Ayan.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rule. For the announcement, the session for this for another announcement, we would like to remind the participants to accomplish the feedback form in order to receive an e-certificate. And the link for the feedback form is shown at the screen. Okay, here is the feedback form. And also, we would like to invite everyone to the last session for today. The session is about mainstreaming and optimizing extractive disclosure. We are highly encouraging everyone to participate also in this informative session. Okay. As you can see, this is our link. And this ends the session. Thank you so much to all who joined and actively participated in this session. On behalf of the Project Dime team and our presenters, we hope you acquired new knowledge in our session and will be a part of our monitoring efforts in the near future. Thank you for joining us and have the great rest of your day. Thank you. Magandang hapon po para sa ating lahat.